Hi, in this video we're going to see about excitation contraction coupling. So this question has been asked as a short essay in your previous examinations. So we'll see how you can write the answer for this. So first you can start with the definition of excitation contraction coupling. So the process by which the membrane depolarization of the muscle fiber initiates contraction is called excitation contraction coupling. So see, first the event is an electrical event, that is membrane depolarization is an electrical event, and that is being converted to a mechanical event which is contraction, right? So that is known as excitation contraction coupling, right? Next we have to write the mechanism of excitation contraction coupling. So we can start this answer by first writing about the excitation part. Okay, how does a muscle membrane get excited? So we know that when action potential reaches a motor neuron, it in turn causes opening of the voltage gated calcium channels. Thus there will be entry of calcium into this motor neuron, which in turn causes release of acetylcholine from the synaptic vesicles, right? Now this acetylcholine will act on the nicotinic receptors which are present on the muscle membrane and in turn causes entry of sodium. Now this sodium entry will produce a local potential which is known as the end plate potential, which is a non-propagated graded potential. This will in turn cause opening up of the voltage gated sodium channels present on the muscle membrane and thereby initiates an action potential. Now this action potential is propagated throughout the muscle membrane, right? So once the action potential is initiated in the plasma membrane of the muscle fiber, it gets rapidly spreaded onto the surface as well as interior of the muscle membrane by the help of these T-tubules. Now here we've got a special receptor called dihydropyridine receptor. So once the depolarization reaches these T-tubules, it activates these dihydropyridine receptors. The activated dihydropyridine receptors will in turn open up another channel which is known as the ryanodine receptor. The ryanodine receptors are actually found on the terminal cisternae of the sarcoplasmic reticulum. So when this ryanodine receptor is opened up, it will cause release of calcium from the sarcoplasmic reticulum. Okay. So see, when the depolarization reaches a muscle membrane, it activates the dihydropyridine receptors, which in turn will open up the ryanodine receptor and cause calcium release. So what happens if calcium is released from the terminal cisternae? See, when there is release of calcium from this terminal cisternae, there will be increased sarcoplasmic calcium concentration, right? And this calcium will then bind on to the troponin C, which is present on the thin filament of a muscle membrane. This binding of troponin C will cause conformational change in another protein called tropomyosin, and it will uncover the binding sites of myosin. So in this way, the binding of calcium to troponin C initiates a muscle contraction. So see here, an electrical event which was depolarization is converted on to a mechanical event, that is contraction, and the coupling agent is actually calcium. Okay. So we'll just see the steps one by one. When a motor neuron action potential reaches a motor neuron, there is opening up of voltage gated calcium channels. There is a release of acetylcholine and entry of sodium. There is development of end plate potential, initiation of action potential in the muscle fiber. And then this action potential is propagated through along the muscle membrane. And there is inward spread of depolarization along the T-tubules into the muscle. There is activation of these dihydropyridine receptors and opening up of ryanodine receptor, which in turn causes release of calcium from the terminal cisternae. And then there is increased sarcoplasmic calcium concentration, which leads to binding up of calcium to troponin C and initiate muscle contraction. Okay. So this is how an excitation of a motor neuron causes contraction of the muscle, and this process is excitation contraction coupling. Clear? So till now we just talked about the events during depolarization, right? But we should also know what happens when there is muscle relaxation or when there is repolarization. Okay. So when there is repolarization, the voltage of the muscle membrane changes, right? This will lead to inactivation of the dihydropyridine receptor and closure of these ryanodine receptors. Okay. So when there is closure of the ryanodine receptor, there is no more release of calcium from the sarcoplasmic reticulum. Not only that, we've got another pump called Surca, and this Surca will actually pump back all the calcium that was present in the sarcoplasm back into the sarcoplasmic reticulum. And another mechanism is we've got a calcium binding protein called calsequestrin. Now this calsequestrin will bind on to the calcium so that all the calcium will remain inside the sarcoplasmic reticulum itself. So once there is no calcium available, there will be the conformational change of tropomyosin will not occur, and the myosin binding sites will be blocked by the tropomyosin again. Okay, so that is the event that occur when there is muscle relaxation or repolarization of the muscle membrane. So during repolarization, the conformational change in the dihydropyridine receptor closes the ryanodine or the calcium release channels. So the calcium is transported from the sarcoplasm into the sarcoplasmic reticulum by Surca. The full form of Surca is sarcoplasmic reticulum calcium ATPase. Okay. And in addition, inside the reticulum, there is a calcium binding protein called calsequestrin, which can bind the calcium ions. So that is a mechanism which occurs during the muscle relaxation or repolarization. Now the applied aspect is there is a phenomenon called malignant hyperthermia. So what is malignant hyperthermia? For some individuals, there will be mutations of these ryanodine or dihydropyridine receptors. So when such individuals are administered an inhalational anesthetic like halothane or ether before a surgery, the defective ryanodine receptor causes excessive release of calcium in the sarcoplasm. So what happens when there is excess calcium in the sarcoplasm? There will be increased muscle contraction, and there will also be increased muscle metabolism, which causes hyperthermia. So this is one reason or one applied aspect of the excitation contraction coupling. Okay. So to summarize, when a question like excitation contraction coupling is asked, first you have to write the definition of the process. That means it is the process by which a muscle membrane depolarization is converted to muscle contraction. And then you should write the mechanism. So you should write both the mechanism of neuromuscular transmission as well as how it is spread on to the muscle membrane and there's calcium release and initiation of contraction. And you should also write some applied aspects. Okay. So I hope the concept is clear. Thank you.